And we're back. All right. Well, welcome to all the folks that are watching the third hour of the trading floor. This is Brad Reed. I am live in Avon, Indiana, and poor Mr. Newsom is not feeling well, and my computer's kind of doing some weird things here as I try and get the web sharing thing going. And of course, wouldn't you know, it always happens. So as we are going, yeah, Mr. Newsom is, so he asked me to fill in, and Angie and I are going, and I'm getting all kinds of things on my screen saying connection problems. Can you guys hear me okay?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
I'm so
And it
sorry.
looks like you're loading. Looks like you're loading your screen.
Okay. Chris Tom says, can hear but not. There we go. And Jeremy's asking desperately for me to show something else. Okay, there we go. Sorry, the pro, the master, the guru himself, always the technology working much better than I do. But thank you for sticking with me. Thanks for everyone. We had a wild first 2 hours, and it was awesome. So hope y'all can join soon for the complete show. But here we go. Kind of the first thing we do is we look at the market, and then I've got a couple of tickers to look at for Tech Tuesday. Angie, did you have anything to say as I start pulling up charts?
No, just might say for the recording students that we are on day 2 of our free trial week. So we've got some guests here that are new to the trading floor, and we're having a great time sharing trading. I can't talk. Trading tidbits and well, Newsom nuggets, except they're Brad Reed nuggets. Wonderful insights regarding financial planning, and that, you know, that extra perspective is really helpful. Wonderful.
We didn't talk about any financial planning. Oh my gosh, and that's my hobby. So if any of you guys have questions about like getting out of debt or I don't know, anything along that, doing a will, insurance. By the way, those are going to be my next 2 videos, will and insurance. I've got them done. I just have to record them and upload them. Anyways, ask away. Thank you, Angie.
Nice.
So
yep, and
to look at
nice
the
reminder. Sorry, nice reminder from Jeremy that anything y'all type in the chat pane is going to show up on the recording. So there it is.
All right. Watch what you type, young men and women. Cool. So to start off our market analysis, we're going to take a look at the SPY, and we got below this support line here, which could be acting as resistance, but really nothing to worry about. There's lots of congestion, as we talked about earlier, plenty of lines in here that we can draw that might be the support that this thing bounces on. It could be any one of these. I'm still bullish on this. I know this is starting to look like a double top. That kind of looks like an island reversal. We do have some bearish looks on this, but here is the main thing that I'm looking at, and I'm going to go back here a couple of times, and let's see, I'm going to draw a trend line, and I'm going to draw one line that connects all of these little bounces. It looked really bad here. It looked bad here. You know, come on. We got to bounce there when everyone was scared. We got to bounce there when everyone was scared. You know, that didn't get quite as close. That didn't get quite as close. But I can redraw this line and make it closer, and it still looks like a good line. In fact, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do that. Trend line. If I go from here, there's another line going something like in there. And anyway, we have lots of different sources of support coming through here. And I got a feeling that it's gonna bounce off of the trend line or something like that. Yeah, I think it's gonna bounce. And then, so we got some congestion in here. We got a trend line. We've got horizontal support, and then when I come in here and I turn on the long-term SMAs, you know, we're sitting right now, the market is not closed today, but we're sitting right on top of that 100 SMA. The 200 is not far. So, you know, I made the joke, I'm not cashing out my 401k or my IRA or anything, you know, this is not it. We got a ways to go before anyone's going to start panicking about some big free fall. So I'm bullish. I'm waiting for the bounce. And we talked a little bit in the first 2 hours that wait, W-A-I-T, is probably the most important trade, most important strategy any trader can learn. Questions, comments, opposing views on SPY? So if we come over here to the Russell 2000, we have a very similar picture. We're coming down to a support line. We're sitting right on top of the 100 and the 200. And here is the Russell version of the trend line. It's just right in there. I mean, we've got all kinds of support coming through here. So yeah, the last week or two have been bearish and kind of a scary gap there, but man, I'm waiting for the bounce and I'm going to buy it. If we go over here to the QQQ, same kind of scary double topish looking thing. We still have this really awesome rock solid support line coming in through there, and if that one doesn't hold, we got that one, and if that one doesn't hold, you know, we got one around in here. So we got lots of congestion, and because of that, that's one big reason I'm not going to take this bearish, because lots of sources of support. Get down here below the 200, and if we even clear this one, then I might start thinking about going bearish. I guess if we clear the 200, I might maybe possibly take 30 seconds to consider maybe possibly going bearish from the 200 down to that swing low, maybe. But I'm waiting for the bounce. Now, the really nice one that I like is the DIA. Again, all of these are market indices. This one measures the Dow Jones. And Carlos, I know you like the Dow Jones, so I'm going to dedicate this one to you. Got a trend line here, and if I draw my trend line, I see I get all these really big, nice bounces, and look where we are. So if you've been studying with Jeremy for a while, you might recognize this one as X marks the spot. So what I am looking for in here is some sort of bullish reversal. So I'm going to type DIA, look for bullish reversal, then buy the bounce. And I'm going to clean up my grammar because I am going to publish this. And this is not CAC. Let's save this as DIA. Today is January 6th. Boom. Okay. Angie, will you remind me to publish this after the trading floor? Because I'll also send that out on Twitter. So my plan on DIA is to wait for a bullish bounce. I expect it, if it is going to happen, that it'll happen in the next couple of days, and then buy it. And kind of the sweet thing that I'm hoping for on this one, oh, this is what I'm trying to do, is I would love to have, I'm not going to put numbers because I don't want someone to get carried away. I would love to have some sort of entry around there, a stop somewhere down in here, and then trade this sucker at least up to there. And that's a good 2-to-1 reward to risk, maybe even a 3-to-1 reward risk. That's money. That's buy the bounce. That's what Jeremy's been doing for this whole year. And yeah, that's it. Jeremy's helping me remember that if you do use Twitter, you can catch us at Newsome Nuggets or at Real Life Trading. Questions about the market? DIA is one that I am definitely going to be watching. some things that we looked at earlier. We looked at some day trades on NSC, and it's moving against us right now. So we're just going to take all this off the table. Boom. This one is still going. It hasn't triggered, but it's looking nicer and sweeter every minute. This one is IDTI. And yeah, it hasn't triggered yet, but if it does, tell you what, we got, what, about 45 minutes left in the market, 50 minutes. Jeremy, what do you think? If this thing doesn't trigger in the next 20 minutes or so, we'll take it off the table? And I agree with Cheryl. Shout out to Jeremy Newsom for hanging in there, even though he's sick. And you guys got to realize, Jeremy loves the trading floor. He loves doing this. He loves trading. He loves helping people. That is his heart. That's his passion. Anybody that's known him more than about 5 minutes knows that he's one of those people that is built and engineered and designed to help people. And so for him to be so sick that he can't do this, yeah, poor guy. Anyways, Jeremy, lots of love going out to you, and hope you get to feeling better soon. But he confirms, yeah, if we don't trigger this in the next 15 or 20 minutes, we're going to take this one off the table. This one, was this Arthur Pierce? Arthur, were you the one that called this one out? Arthur was introducing us to a new strategy. This one, we would have looked at bearish, probably would have gotten in right up here and rode this all the way down for, that's looking like maybe 3 or 4R, maybe more. Arthur has an interesting strategy where he buys the bounce off of support, and it's working out well for him so far. It looks like he could have about an R. So Arthur, remember you got about 40, 45 more minutes left in the day. Don't forget to be able to close that out. Questions, comments about any other day trades? Anyone that I forgot to look at before I jump into some swing trades? All right. Oh, another day trade, and I want to look at this for swing trades too, is MU. Micron Technology has earnings tomorrow, and we came up with this sweet trading plan that basically says if MU gaps below 3169, we're going to look for a retest gap, a very strong retest gap. It's going to retest because all of these people that have been shorted through here are profitable, so they may, so there are likely a few people to close, which will cause it to go up and retest. But then this is bearish, 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 bearish if it gaps down here. That would be some sort of double topish looking thing. We've got some interesting gaps up in here, and so bearish should be the edge and likely to push it down for a day trade. For a day trade. We'll have to see what it looks like tomorrow for a swing trade. But if you're a day trader and it gaps down to 3169, look for a retest gap. Excuse me. I got to learn how to hit the mute button if I'm going to cough. If it gaps up to above 35, that would be a gap and go. Now there's 45 minutes left in the market, so we don't know if it's a perfect gap and go, but if it does, trade those strategies. If you do not know how to trade those strategies, you should come over here to reallifetrading.com and find this day trading tab right here. Click on that, and you've got 4 classes here. They're all about 15 minutes that will teach you how to day trade a retest gap and teach you how to day trade a perfect gap and go. I doubt all 4 videos will take you more than an hour and 20 minutes. They're entertaining, and they're some awesome strategies. Okay, so that's Micron for a day trade. I know some people were talking about Apple. I've seen a lot about Apple today. So let's take a look. Apple, that's a 5-minute chart. So let me back out. Lots of interesting lines here. Okay, so Apple had its high up here. It's been pulling back. We got a little bit worried about some sort of double top. We see it's been in higher lows. But what is this candle right here? Can someone type in and remind me what the heck that candle is called? Zane saying it's hammer time. Da 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 dum da dum dum dum. It's hammer time. Yeah, that's a Maria says beautiful. Absolutely, it's a beautiful hammer candle. Ooh, new white soldier, Steven Jackson on it. Because it opened and closes below the close of yesterday, that would be a new white soldier. And yeah, remember we talked a little bit before on DIA about X marks the spot? That's the X. That's bullish. So we need confirmation before going in. But if we get more bullish action tomorrow, yeah, I'm down for getting in there. This could be shaping, I'm not going to say it, but if we get another candle tomorrow, if we get a white candle tomorrow that looks anything like this, that would make this Morningstar reversal-ish. So Newsom says he's wigging out. Oh, cool, people are joining in.
Yeah. Pat Quebec is here.
Rock and roll. All right, I am going to go ahead and put a trigger in here. That is not a trigger. That is a trigger. Let's see, if we were to get a close above the wick of that bearish candle. Jeremy, type in if you have a different thought or an opposing view. But and let's see, I'm not suggesting this trade yet. I'm just going to check it. If I were to get in, if someone told me to type in what my plan was, again, I see this is bullish, but it has not confirmed yet. So this all may be very premature. But if I got in at 108.85 and my stop was at 104.51, let's call that $4.31. I would need an $8.60 reward, which would put me up around 117.20. So the question is, if I got up here, would that be reasonable for a 2-to-1 reward risk ratio? And it absolutely would. So is that a bad trade? You got a bullish candle here. You got a bullish trend line. We have a good support line here. That's all bullish. A reasonable reward risk ratio. Jeremy says that he would take it above the high of today and the stop below the wick. So Jeremy says, hey, if we get a close there, and that's an even better reward risk ratio. So Jeremy's saying that because he's got a really awesome, beautiful looking hammer candle at strong support meaning this trend line and this horizontal line, there's no reason not to take this thing, I shouldn't say that we would be more bullish than bearish. There are reasons I guess you could come up with because it has not yet made a higher high, but if this trade is in your trading plan, there it is. Yoav is saying the 100 SMA is also support. Let's turn that sucker on. Absolutely beautiful. Sorry, Pat, this is Brad Reed. Jeremy's feeling sick today, and so I commandeered the microphone, and no one has figured out how to block my internet yet. So I'm going to keep on talking.
Pat, he's doing a great job. Poor Jeremy. Poor Jeremy lost his voice.
Yoav, am I pronouncing your name correct? Yoav, or is it Yov?
No, Mark sent in a link. Yoav. Is that right?
Yoav, okay.
All right.
Perfect. So Jeremy's sending me some numbers. He says 107.39, 104.40. So as I have it here on the chart is how Jeremy would do it. So let's just save that one. And call this one Apple BR Swing, and today is January 6th, 2015. Oh, by the way, today is January 6th. So Feliz Dia de los Reyes to todos los Latinos y Latinas that are on the call today. Happy Three Kings Day to all who celebrate that holiday. Questions, thoughts, opposing views on Apple? Gracias, Peg. Thoughts, questions, opposing views on Apple before we keep going? All right. Next one, let's see. We talked about MU. We want to talk about MU for a swing trade. Well, I guess there's earnings tomorrow, so we have to see what it does tomorrow. By the way, if you are currently in MU, oh, we got to look at covered calls for Apple. If you are currently in MU, there are earnings. You have about 40 more minutes to protect yourself. And by protect yourself, I mean if you're in long, you can buy a protective put, maybe below that support line or below that support line. Or if you're in short, you could buy a protective call, maybe above there. But whatever your trade plan says, protect yourself if you're currently in MU. Back to Apple. If Apple closes above your entry, will you still do the trade? Patricia, I have greatly simplified my trading plan, and this is not a trade that I would do, just because it's not in my trading plan. It's a great trade. I see it. If you, man, there's so much support in here. There's a lot of reasons to take this trade. Mr. Newsom, are you going to take this one with real money, or are you going to do it virtual, or do you just think this is a great trade? But Mr. Newsom, what are you going to do? Since we are bullish, I'm going to say now's not probably the best time to sell a covered call. You should have already sold one up here. It would have been nice to have sold a covered call on this evening star reversal or on this confirmation. Someone said, Maria says earnings around the corner. Jeremy says he will wait for the candle to close and then wait for a higher high. So Jeremy's not going to hop in just quite yet. Earnings are on, what is that, January 26th? So we got about 3 or 4 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, 20 days until earnings, Maria. Maria says January 27th, so yeah, right about in there. Cool. Questions, thought, opposing views on Apple? That was interesting. Jeremy says 107.39 is the trigger if it closes. Oh, sorry, Newell says. Yeah, if this is your trading plan, 107, well, let's see. The problem is this white candle is still forming. So if this is the picture at the end of the day, yes, I would say put your trigger above whatever today does. So remember, sorry, I'm just going to get this off the screen for now. This white candle is still forming. It's still changing. So the plan could be, if it's in your trading plan, is to enter with a close above that candle. And remember this, if this candle finishes looking like this, that's a bullish hammer candle bouncing off the 100, bouncing off the trend line, bouncing off the support line. I mean, there's just all kinds of bullishness. It might be interesting to see if there is premium. Yeah, I would say if you can get 10% in 2 weeks for a bull put spread down in here, that might be sweetness with a close above that hammer. That hammer's got to confirm. Right now, that hammer is not yet confirmed. But if we get a bullish move, you might look at a bull put spread down in here. That 200 is going to come up. Chris Tom says, very good premium if you can wait. Yeah, watch out for earnings. You want to get out before earnings. And I believe the monthly, yeah, you should be able to get out. If you do the monthly January, I'm checking my calendar right now. Thanks for all the messages you guys have sent me today. I really do appreciate that. So the third Friday of the month is the 16th. Wow, so you might even get good premium going only a week and a half, or you might go to January 23rd. But just whatever you do, especially if you're doing a spread, get out before earnings. Be done before earnings. If you'd bought a call, you'd buy for January, but before earnings. If you were going to buy a long option, if you're going to buy a long call, I don't. So Jay Newell says, if you buy a call to get out before earnings. Yes, I'd get out before earnings, but I would still probably buy a February or maybe a March call, just because your theta decay on anything in January is going to really eat your premiums up very, very quickly. So yeah, if I were going to buy a call, I'd buy a late February or probably a March call, if I were doing that, which I'm not. But great question, and thank you for typing it. Prasad, what's going on, buddy? Missed you today. Prasad's calling out IDTI 1721 by 1740. Let's go take a look. Prasad, you are a beast. We've actually entered something very similar. We had 1718, 1741. So Prasad has a little bit tighter. Prasad's is a good one. Says we could tighten that up. I don't know. I think I still might want to get below that wick of that one. But I think the biggest issue right now is we have 34 minutes left in the market. So for that to go from there all the way down to the target, actually, I don't like it. If it's in your trading plan, you may do that, but I think we're just too late in the day. But great call out. All right, so question still on Apple. Yeah, so if shares would be good before earnings or buy a longer term option, just be sure to protect yourself over earnings. Some other people wanted to look at Loco. So let's see, we did MU, we did Apple, now we're doing Loco. It's not doing anything amazing. Loco had a beautiful gap up above a key pivot point down here. Oh, I'm loving technology today. All right. You know what? I'm embarrassed that I just complained about that. Out of 7 billion people on the planet, 2 billion people have no food today. A little over 6 billion people don't have access to meat today. And I have access to food, meat, and great medicines and healthcare. So if technology is my biggest problem, there's probably about 6.9 billion people that would trade places with me in a heartbeat. At any rate, black candle yesterday, gap up today. That is a gap and go. It gapped above a really nice pivot point. So this might end up being a very swing trade. Let's see. It looks like we're going to close above the 20. Let's keep looking at this. This is some more time. More time. More time. Oh, we don't have much history on this. So this is all the data that we can get on Loco. We might have some, yeah, man, sure would be nice to have more data. We might hit some resistance right about in there. We might hit some in here. Me personally, I'm not going to trade this just because I want more data on my charts. I like the strategy called wait. And I just want to be overwhelmed by the sentiment. See, we're just now getting a 100 simple moving average. Yeah, is there anyone that really wants me to put a trade on here? I don't like it. I am more bullish than bearish, but Chris Tom, thank you so much. You said it perfectly. I think there's a lot better out there. Yeah, I'm bullish on this, but I just would love to have more bullish sentiment, kind of like we saw on DIA and on Apple when we have trend lines, support lines, simple moving averages, just all kinds of things pushing us bullish. So I'm going to keep on going unless someone types in quickly about a question on El Pollo Loco. By the way, I have had food there. It's very tasty. Some people wanted to look at Google, and Hernan Bearish. All right, so we had a nice little support line there that got trashed today. We've got some more stuff going on down there. The simples Interesting that the simples not only have rolled over, but now the 100 has crossed. And there are some long-term traders that look for these signals, not only that they go bearish, but that they cross bearish. So we might have some more bearish sentiment on this, but we do have some really strong support coming up. What are the exponentials doing? Exponentials are bearish. I'm bearish on this. Now the question is, where would I get in? I really would like the failure of that gap right there for an entry. Of course, that's all hindsight, and that is a target. This gap over here, that's strong support right there, guys. So if you are in Google bearish, I would love to hear your plan, but this right here concerns me about getting in bearish now. Thanks, Guy. Have a great day. Anybody want to go bearish on Google now? Type in your trade setup, because personally, I don't see it. I think we're going to hit us, and we're either going to go sideways or we're going to bounce. Yeah, because of this really strong support right here, I would not go bearish on Google now. It certainly does not look bullish. Sorry, I was not coughing. I was struggling with myself. I was thinking about a bear call spread up here, but man, I think this thing's going to bounce. Earnings, I guess we just had earnings, right? Or are they coming up? We had earnings at the end of October, so November, December. Yeah, earnings got to be coming up in about 3 weeks. I don't see anything real exciting day trade, swing-wise, or long-term about Google. Anybody see anything I'm not, or else I'm going to keep on moving? Someone said they wanted to look at Amazon. Amazon is still trucking bearish, like we said it. We are running into getting towards some really strong support. It bounced once here, it bounced once there. Let's see what the long-term SMAs are doing. So they're acting as resistance, which is nice. This thing about a bear call spread up here may not be a bad idea, but you're not going to find premium up there. Angie, what do you think about bear call spread above the 200, somewhere up in here?
I like it. I like it above those moving averages.
Yeah, both Angie and I like doing our spreads.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only hesitation is this support line where it bounced there and it bounced there.
If you don't sing it, you don't mean it.
Bear call spread.
Look, they got a duet.
Okay, when I hesitate like this, some tell me not to do it, so I would not do it. If you can get premium up here and it's a short one, like a week or two, Troy Beinhardt, if you're out there, this may be something you want to look into, because I know you like on weekly spreads. You might even suck it down here to the 100, or maybe even on the top of that. But I'm expecting a bounce soon. And one thing that really kind of gets me nervous is, see this gap here? That's a quick move. And if it can gap down like that and come right back up that quickly, your spread may not be totally and completely safe. So Amazon working well. If you are already in bearish on Amazon, look for your exit coming up in the next couple of days. But I do not have a good entry on Amazon right now. But your exit's coming up if you are in on. If you're in bearish on Amazon, your exit should be coming up. Questions, thoughts, concerns? Type a 3 if, when I say your exit's coming up, you would like for me to go into more detail. Type a 3. because I've seen some people ask this. I've gotten some emails. I've gotten some questions. Okay, I'm not getting any threes, so I'm going to keep on. If I get some threes that people want me to detail what an exit is, like if you're in bearish, you might do a buy limit. If you have a put option, you might do a sell limit. Ooh, there's some terms. All right, let's keep going. I've got Netflix on my list, and I'm noticing we've got about 25 more minutes. So if there's anything you guys really want me to get to, let me know. Netflix looks a lot like Google and Apple. Again, if you got in bearish a while back, awesome. You're a rock star. You're great. But your exit's coming up pretty soon. In fact, if you are in bearish on Netflix, your exit might be today. Now, we might have an interesting setup coming in here on Netflix. Here's what I see. I see this 100 about to cross the 200. That's bearish. I see a trend line being respected, something like that. That's not a good drawing. But there's going on right in here. Then we have a strong support zone in here. Ah, darn it. I got to draw another line down there. Well, on Netflix, I see some support. I was going to say let's ride this sucker bearish again with a close below here. Okay, here is what I would say on Netflix. Because of all of this congestion, because of all these multiple potential support lines down here, if we get a close below 315 or below the wick of that candle, if we get a close below 314.92, wait for the retest. I think this is going to come up here. And if it goes sideways and you get a great reward risk ratio when this trend line comes down, or exponentials be good to me. Yeah. Or when these exponentials come down, that would be a bearish X marks the spot. And you might be able to, I think I've heard it called a sniper trade before. You might be able to sneak in there and get a really reward risk ratio, and you know, look for something in there. But you got to have a good reward risk ratio to take that trade. But I kind of like that on Netflix. Questions, thoughts, opposing views on Netflix? Okay. I see a couple of requests in here, so I'm going to check out CHK because I did see that one going on the list before. CHK is an energy. Come on. Yeah, it looks bearish because I'm coming up with lower highs. This gap here, the fact that it gapped there and gapped there, that's like a bear eating salmon out of a stream in Alaska wearing a bear suit. So if you've ever seen a bear wearing a bear suit, that's pretty bearish. Jeremy does that so much better than I do. I got to come up with my own thing. Angie, will you help me with that? I'm nowhere near as good as Sir Isaac Newsom on many things, but I really butchered that bear wearing a bear suit and a bear eating salmon. And yeah, okay, I'm just going to stop. All right, going on here. So yeah, the big thing on CHK is you've got strong support coming up. So if you're in bearish, your exit is coming up here. If you want to get in, I would wait for something to happen here. Let's see what happens below that. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, so I'm going to draw that line there. If we get a close below that second line, and it's not going to happen for a couple of days, but if you get a close down in here, that might be another bearish entry. And if you get a close below there, I'm thinking bear call spread up in here. Questions, thoughts, opposing views? Who asked for CHK? Was that Patricia? Did I shoot your question, Patricia? All right, rock star. Thank you for typing that in. Someone else typed Intel, and let's see. I guess I'll save that one later. It is Technical Tuesday, technically. Oh, I made myself laugh with that one. Get it? Because technically it's Tuesday, and Tuesday's stock. So technically it's Tech Stock Tuesday. Okay. If you're not laughing, that's about as good as my jokes get. So the good news is that you were here for it. You experienced it. The bad news is, it's about as good as it gets. Yeah, some lines in there. Yeah, this starts to get concerning right in here because we have a really strong resistance line here that was broken, tested once as support. This is starting to look like a double top. Hey, have we coined a tune for double top? Can I do that? I'm going to call it a double top. Boom. Makes me want to go get a some McNuggets. Yeah, so that would be a double top below there. Now the problem is this thing is bullish. So would I trade this bearish? Let's keep looking. Long-term SMAs. Bam! Thank you, Mr. SMA. So because this 100's coming in, and we may have a trend line. So we may have another buy the bounce situation. All right, we got the 100. We've got, did I just totally abuse the trend line if I draw it like that? Mr. Newsom, did I abuse the trend line concept? I see kind of a touch there. I see something there. I see a big white candle coming off of there. If we see a bullish move up here, okay, here's my trading plan for Intel. I'm going to put a resistance line up there. We're looking at a X marks the spot buy the bounce situation on Intel. The challenge will be getting a good reward risk ratio, because if we look at these entry opportunities back over here, you know, if you had gotten in there, your stops goes there. That's like a 1.5. This one, if you got in on that white candle, this one's barely. Let's see, you would have gotten it there. That's barely a 1 to 2. If you can get a good bullish entry here, then I would trade Intel bullish back up to there. If it bounces. If it bounces, we might have a great opportunity for a bull put spread if there is any premium down in here. What do you think about that, Angie? Would that 200 be concerning to you? Or would that support line, that trend line, and that 100 simple moving average be good for a bull put spread down there? Mr. Isaac Newsom, what do you think? Bull put spread in there if there's any premium?
I would be all right with that based on that trend line and the 100.
Angie, do you know when earnings are on Intel? Yeah, if we bounce. That's why I'm not typing anything, because we haven't really bounced yet.
Let me look. Let me look up earnings for sure. Okay. Okay.
You do that. I'm going to go to another one because we are running short on time. 15 minutes left. I saw another request. We looked at Intel. We looked at CHK. Was it BABA someone wanted to look at? Zane says January 15.
Okay.
Lots
Chris
of people
Tom was
saying
mentioning BABA's new white soldier.
Okay. So January 15 for Intel. So that's coming up pretty quick. You need to be out before, well, according to the most common credit spread strategy, you need to be out before earnings. So to find premium this far away, probably not going to do it. If you're adventurous, you might scoot up there. Troy Beinhardt would be adventurous. But whatever you do, wait for a bounce before you get in with a bull put spread. Questions, thoughts, opposing views on Intel? Baba. Baba, baby, Baba. Down, down, do your thing. I don't know why I just thought about Cupel Shefford on that. That is kind of, that new white soldier, yeah, it's bullish. It is on support. But that would really make me want to use my favorite strategy, which is wait. Let's see, do we have long terms on this one yet? Exponentials, they're going to be bearish. Yeah, see, so my exponentials are bearish, my trend line's bearish. I'm making lower highs. I'm also making lower lows. We are at support, but I don't have warm, juicy thoughts about doing anything with BABA. Questions, thoughts, opposing views on BABA? Chris Tom, was this part of the retest gap before it? Retest gap before it. Oh, so excellent call out there, Mr. Tom. Can we call you Major Tom? Or question: if you're in the military and someone else gets a nickname like Major Tom, I have a horrible British accent, or Admiral, or if so, just like a nickname, but they're never in the military, is that offensive to you? Type in a 1 if you're in the military, and if someone else has a military-ish nickname but they never served. Type in a 1 if that's offensive to you. All right, so Chris says there's a retest gap there because that is bearish and you gap down. And is this the retest? Absolutely, that is the retest. You are 100% right on. Jeremy says that is a nice candle. I agree. That is a nice candle. It does look like it may come up here and on the trend line. I just see lots of resistance between the trend line, the exponential moving averages, the lower highs. You know, we have this, even this confluence zone right here. If it is going to break out of this confluence zone, it's going to go sideways. I would want to see a lot more before going bullish on BABA. Mr. Newsom, thoughts, opposing views? Anybody? Questions, thoughts, opposing views? More bullish than bearish above 104-ish. So 104 is there. I think for me, I'd want to see it get above this upper confluence line, but that's my trading plan. I'd want to see it get above this trend line. I'd want to see it get above the exponentials. It certainly need to see a confirmed bounce on BABA. Aaron says, please do SPY, DIA, QQQ, IWM. We did review them just before close. That's not a bad idea. DIA is my favorite out of all of those. And Chris Tom says, have it break the 10. Yeah, the 10's the blue. That's that one. Yeah, I would want to see this get above 106.29 or 106.24 before I even think about going bullish on BABA. But it is prime for a bounce. I do like that. Okay. Can you decipher where the lines are at? The 10 is red on my chart. Okay. The thank you, who pointed. Thank you, Cheryl. The red one is the 10. Decipher the lines on my chart. So I do have a bunch here. Apologize for being messy. These blue squiggles are just marking the lower highs, indicating this is in somewhat of a bearish trend. This blue line is a bearish trend. These lines going up and down are exponential moving averages. I'd want to move above all of those before going bullish, but the red is the 10, the blue is the 20, and this green one's the 50. These red lines are a confluence zone. Confluence, Jeremy, is that video 10, where you talk about confluence. The confluence lines talk about trader psychology and naturally where support and resistance tends to be. Sorry, not confluence. Fibonacci lines. I can't see the dollar values. Awesome. Thank you for typing that in. So this upper Fibonacci line, if I said confluence in the last 5 minutes, I meant Fibonacci. So I apologize for my mistake. But at least it's being recorded, so my mistake is recorded forever. Yay! This upper Fibonacci line is 106.20. 106.20. And Greg says, Newsom, how you feeling? Greg, because you're hearing my voice, that's how bad Jeremy's feeling. Okay, what other tickers do you want me to look at? I got 9 minutes, so I'm going to hit these. So DIA, this long wick right here, that's bullish. So we may be getting our bounce. Our entry may be as early as tomorrow. So our game plan is to look for a bullish reversal. Out of all the market indices, this is the one I like the best. This is the one I'm most likely to place a trade on. IWM. Again, wow, a long wick coming down here. This has been moving up the last couple of minutes, so it looks like the bounce may have already started. If you do want to play IWM bullish, look for a bounce tomorrow. Again, I like DIA better. Whoever just asked me to do these indices, let me know if I'm hitting at what you wanted. For SPY, we're sitting right on the 100. So this one is less convincing than the DIA, than the Dow Jones and the Russell. But again, I'm bullish on this one. Again, I like the DIA the best. QQQ, the NASDAQ. Yeah, looks like we're going to close just above the 100. All four of those indices kind of look the same, but for me, DIA is the prettiest. Now, nothing has happened yet. We are still waiting for confirmation on all of those. So we're looking for a bullish confirmation before going bullish. Some questions on Plug. Plug broke bearish out of this Gizmo. Real strong support down here at 280. Oh my gosh, this thing's gone low. So we're going sideways here. If you have shares, you could do a covered call up here-ish. Up here-ish meaning above, you might go above 350. Do they have, are these every 50 cents? Angie, go ahead.
No premium up higher though. We got some premium at 350 last week, expiring this Friday.
Nice. Do you know when earnings are off the top of your head on Plug?
Well, I know they were back in November, so coming up January.
November. Okay, so
let me look it up.
Yeah, we're February then, right? Because December, January. Yeah. So you still got about 4 to 6 weeks. Beautiful Morningstar reversal here.
March.
That has
March 12th.
Well, March 12th. Okay. So you got a lot of time on Plug. It looks like it's holding. That's a nice hammer retesting this support line. I'm starting to feel kind of bullish on Plug, but we've always felt Plug's a gappy little thing, and it moves fast. If you do want to go on Plug, I would wait for a close above those things, but you'd be hard pressed to find a good reward risk ratio. That is going to be some resistance. Your stop would have to go down here or maybe down here, and that's going to be your first target. That's going to be your second target. Yeah, I would have a hard time taking this bullish just because of the reward to risk ratio. Questions, thoughts, opposing views on Plug? Okay, Paul Aaron says that he likes IWM more than DIA. So let's go back and take a look. So we've got, and here is IWM. So for the Russell, we're bouncing off the 100 and 200. That is good. Let me get some more data on my chart here. We have a trend line that's kind of been respected. You know, that's nice. As far as a horizontal line coming in here, I don't really have a good one to put right on the candle. I guess I could do that. So that's a line. You've got some support here. You're going to run into a little bit of resistance there and a little bit more resistance there before you get to your ultimate target up here of 120. On the DIA, and Paul, I'm going to ask you in a little bit to type in why do you like IWM more than DIA, because maybe I have something to learn from you. To me, DIA has a stronger trend line. It's got a better angle. The simple moving averages here have a better angle going from the bottom left to upper right. This horizontal line to me is a stronger line. I am going to run into a very small, weak resistance in through here. Why do you keep doing that to me? So there is going to be some very short term. I may run into a little bit of pausing in there, but for me, the bullish movement on DIA is stronger than on IWM according to my trading plan. When I look at IWM, I see a lot of congestion to get back up to the high, whereas on DIA, it looks a lot cleaner to me. Day trade considerations. If I get a gap up tomorrow, if I get a gap up to above this line I just drew on DIA, then I think that would be a very, very bullish gap and go. Now, I am going to guess to venture that the last 15 and 5 minutes have been bullish, so there will be a quick retest. On IWM, if we can get all the way up to here, again, that's a gap and go. Paul, for day trade, I would have to see the gap before I talk about the trade. Just to my trading style, my whims, my experience, I like DIA better. There is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with trading IWM if that's your trading style. I said earlier today, maybe I said it before the third hour, everyone should learn your own trading style. Don't try and copy someone else's. Learn your own style, and that's how you're going to be the most successful. We also talked briefly that you should learn one strategy at a time. So if you're ever going to learn a strategy, pick one strategy, go back in history on the charts and look where your entries, exits, and stops would have been. Virtual trade it for at least 3 months or 100 trades before you even start to trade it with real money. That's going to mean it's going to take you 3 to 6 months to learn a strategy. But once you do it, once you learn it, you learned it, you know it, and you knowed it good, and you gotched it. But what a lot of mistakes people make, and I did this when I first started learning, and Angie mentioned, is that too many people, like myself and Angie when they started, they try and learn 5 or 6 different strategies all at once, and you just get a bad understanding of each of them. So pick one strategy, crush it, learn it, inside it out, and then go on to the next one. So we watch Mr. Newsom trade, and he's got 6, 8, 10, 12 different strategies that he can pull from, but remember, he's been studying this for 6 years. So if you build your strategies one at a time, 6 years from now, you'll have 6, 10, or 12 strategies that you can pull from and be rock solid at just about anything and everything you do. Questions, thoughts, opposing views? We're getting towards the end. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock. Yeah, I know, Jeremy. You've been trading for 6 years. Oh my gosh, you're so old. 26. Woo! But Jeremy, you're an amazing guy. You're an amazing trader. You've put this whole entire family together. I've got the microphone, and there's not much you can do about it. So I just want to say thank you, Jeremy. You've created a family. You've created a loving group of people that are all trying to help each other. This would not exist without you. So thank you so much, Jeremy, for putting all this together. Thank you to every single one of you that are in the family. And as Angie mentioned earlier, there are some new people that are just joining this week. We're a family of traders, and when someone posts a trade, there's a couple of hundred people that are going to take a look at your trade and tell you what you might have thought, or they're going to give you support, or they're going to copy your trade and they're going to make money on your idea, and we all post trades and we all learn from each other. Thank you to everyone. Love you. Jeremy's not going to talk, but he's going to tell you to live life, love it, trade it. Angie, I'm going to ask you for your closing words. I'm going to tell everyone, be good, get out of debt, and reach your financial dreams. Angie, what you got? Last word to wisdom.
Oh my, you've said it all. Great job today. Feel better, Jeremy.
Thank you. Feel better, Jeremy.
See you all
That's the
tomorrow.
best one of all. Love you
Yeah,
guys.
see you tomorrow.